Hello, how are you? I am Black Butterfly Oshun, and I'm here up here on this platform to just say Grand Rising, and welcome in. But one thing I want to really touch bases and talk to you guys about is the inner child working. Yes, I said your inner child, okay? Because what I'm noticing that a lot of you guys are coming into what is called spirituality, working on your healing, getting to know who you are. And some of you guys might be like, oh my God, I've been working on this one thing for years and I finally healed it, but yet it keeps being a trigger point and keeps coming up. Let me tell you something, you didn't heal it. Only thing you did was you went into the freeze where you decided, oh my God, I'm just going to go ahead and just shut down, disassociate, avoid, procrastinate, and just feel stuck. So some of you all are right now stuck. And you're like, yeah, okay, yes, I know. You're stuck. You're stuck being in and around people where you don't want to be confrontational. You avoid conflict at all costs, even if it sends you in a spiral where you get depressed, where you experience burnout, where you experience resentment. Okay. And some of you all just want to just shut down and just be away from the world and kind of disassociate yourself from everybody, like withdraw with your emotions. Okay. Let me tell you, that stems from because you were the invincible child when you were younger. hmm I did say that. Yes. You were the invincible child. You were the child where people didn't really see you, didn't really care what you were doing. So therefore, because you wasn't a child that was seen or heard from, you kind of took things into your own way, into your own hands. Okay. You started to understand that the world is not going to help me and I got to do this for myself and by myself. But what if I tell you that that's not the truth? What if I tell you that because of you as a child, your needs were never met as a child. And because of that, you think that the world is dangerous. Okay. You think that people will always leave you. You think that, okay, if I can't predict the future and it's unpredictable for me, then it's going to create chaos. What if you're a type of person where chaos and toxic energy is just the norm and that's what you're used to? So then when you have some peace and quiet, you're just like, something is not right. So you go in and you self sabotage or you do something to stir some things up. And you're like, oh, that's me. Yes, I understand that's you. But let me tell you something, that was a learned behavior. That was a learned behavior as your defense mechanism, which is you being in your fight. Okay. Yes, I said fight because us still being in the pains of things that hurt us from years ago, probably decades ago, where it was childhood traumas, whether it was your parents treating you some way or other family members, however it may have been, we are still dealing with them. It's because we decided that we just wanted to hold on to that pain because why? Pain feels familiar. It's not that you like the pain, it's the familiar around the pain. What is familiar about it is the first time that you ever experience pain. For example, let's say this. You have a parent, and the parent has these expectations that you're supposed to clean up the house, you wipe down the walls, do certain things, and da 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 da. Okay. And you have done so, but you had a task and you did your task and you went down and did your homework. And let's say that one of your siblings went to go eat something and put something in the sink, right? And you didn't know, but you were doing your homework. And then eventually what ended up happening was the parent got upset and got mad, but you had did everything possible to do everything that was right. So now here you are met with verbal abuse and all of that. And you're just like, oh my God. And the pain that you first initially felt, okay? You felt as if you wasn't good enough. You felt as if you were the problem when you wasn't the problem. You felt that you had disappointed somebody. And you were like, you know what? I'm going to make it my routine to never disappoint anybody ever again. And because you have made that your routine, guess what happened? Every time that you disappointed somebody or yourself, you slumped into a depression. Okay. You got into that criticism because you were criticized as a child. So now you do self criticism. You negative self talk all the time. Things are too good to be true because this is what you experience, right? And you're like, well, how do I get away from that? Let me tell you how you get away from that. Okay. Start processing your emotions. And what you mean, putting them back in the back burner and shutting them down? No, that's not processing. Okay. That is hindering. That is you suppressing your emotions. The more that you suppress it, the more that it becomes a burden on you. Alrighty. And I always tell people the inner conflict that you have within yourself, it always shows up on the outside. So if the outside of you is chaos, full of trauma, full of this, that is what you got going on in the inside of you. So one thing that you need to do to start processing your emotions is asking the taboo word that we are scared to ask. Why? And you're like, no, I don't want to. Yes, you have to. You have to get away from, as a child, when you asked why your parent came back with because I said so, or they came back with some type of verbal or emotional words, or even some physical abuse. You have to get away with that, get away from that, because you ask yourself why, then you shut down your nervous system, and you take your nervous system and take it out of survival mode, and you're able to sit down and process it. Once you get to the point where you process it and it's like, aha, and it doesn't bother you anymore, guess what you're doing? You are healing the patterns. And you have to remember that history always repeats itself. So if you have a history of this, and every time you get in a relationship, it's the same thing. I need you to go back in these relationships and go back and look at everything that's happened. And I guarantee you that you have the same cycles that's going on in each one of these relationships. All right. So one thing that we need to start working on is stop running away from our inner child. And you're like, but I don't want to. But you got to, because all the trauma that you've had caused to you when you were younger, because you won't heal your inner child, and you're still wallowing in all the things that your parents and other family members have done to you. If you have children, you are causing them trauma as well. And you're like, oh, yes, you are causing them trauma as well. One thing that I had to realize in my experience was I was trying so hard not to be like my mother that I started to become like my mother. Okay, because I was fighting. The things that you focus on are the things that you manifest. And I want y'all to remember that, okay? So at the end of this, I want you to sit down with your inner child. And if you're angry with somebody about something, and you ask yourself why, and you can't remember, it's time to let it go, okay? Alrighty, so this is what I'm gonna leave you with. Stay tuned, and I'll be coming back with more videos, okay? Thank you for joining me, and make sure that you like, comment, and you share. And also check out my profile, because I have links in the bio to all the other things that I do offer as well. And if you want to see me live in action, join me on TikTok with the same name, Black Butterfly Oshun. Okay? Have a good one.